Welcome, and today I would like to share with you my information and my experience with fasting. I do fast a couple times a year. I do it to clean my body, remove toxins, remove, the damage that I did to it through, holiday season especially. And it's a great thing. That's the truth. I've done fast for like over 20 times probably, at least twice a year for the last 10 years, maybe more. But every time I start, it sucks. I love food, man. I mean, that's like, you don't drink, you don't smoke. What do? I eat food. So the moment that I have to stop, or I agree to stop and to fast, right away there's something in me that's just, man, this stinks. Why am I doing this? But we're going to get past that, okay? Because I didn't bring you here to get all miserable on this stuff. I want you to see that there's a reason to do this, and it's a great reason. There are great reasons behind this. And there are several different options that you can take too. There are different types of fasts. I'm going to give you 3 today, which should be pretty easy, and I think they're kind of easy. Hopefully it can make a change in your life, and it can lead to less suffering, better health, happier life, all those good things that come with fasting. And if you're new to the channel and you're stopping by just for this information, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm always trying to put out good stuff about health, parenting, all this different stuff. But back to the fasting, okay? Fasting has been around for a long time. It's been back, thousands of years. A lot of times you can find it even in your religion that you might have been a part of. In Islam, there's traditions of fasting. There are also traditions in Judaism and Christianity. There's traditions of fasting. And in Buddhism, the Buddha was known to attain nirvana by not eating at all. I'm Catholic, so of course there was the 40 days and 40 nights that Jesus was in the desert and was not eating on like his spiritual quest, and he was tempted by the devil. The devil actually came to him and said, you know what, you're hungry, you're Jesus, you can do whatever you want, why don't you turn these stones into bread and then you can have something to eat. I always remember that story, man, it's pretty crazy. And Jesus says, man does not live on bread alone. As a kid I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe not bread, but he's got to have something else, right? Like pasta, meat, something. I mean, come on, you got to eat. And I always remember it being like, the devil versus God, and that the spiritually strong were able to resist eating. So for me, fasting has always been brought back to religion in this fight against good and evil. As a matter of fact, even when you look up the definition of fasting, if you Google it, it says to abstain from all or some kinds of food or drink, especially as a religious observance. And I'm not here to talk about religion or do that kind of stuff, but I did want to give you the roots of fasting and the exact definition and explain to you, what you're getting into is kind of rooted in that. You might just be here for the health benefits or for hoping to lose weight or anything kind of like that, but this is rooted in, religious observance. And maybe the reason why this has been something against good and evil and it's been a struggle is because eating is a worldly pleasure. I mean, think about anything you have to give up that you really like. If someone told me that I wasn't going to be able to have sex anymore, I would be really frustrated about that one. Or when it comes to drinking, having like a beer or a glass of wine or anything like that. What if someone said like, no, we have to take this away from you? And it's tough, I mean, we want pleasure. We want to be able to feel okay in this life that seems to be too hectic sometimes. And the reason why I'm bringing this up with fasting right now is because when you are getting into it and you're on your first day, that denial of that pleasure is there. And you have to be prepared to face that if you really want to fast. Think about that willpower thing and how this is associated with, worldly pleasure and temptations and all this weird stuff. Fight through it. Do the fast. Give it a shot. Now, the main reason to do this is that this is a healing experience. Whether it is weight issues that you're trying to deal with or disease, or if you're doing it for spirit, it is healing. It is cleansing. It is a mind, body, and soul experience. And the science behind it explains cellular autophagy. In 2016, the Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine was awarded to Yoshinori Asumi for his findings in autophagy. Now, autophagy is the body's way of getting rid of old cells, damaged cells, to make way for new cells, healthier cells. His studies in this are amazing. I mean, it's what started the whole intermittent fasting craze. So the science behind this has really caught fire, and people are really into it. I love these short little fasts that I do, and I believe that even before I learned about autophagy, that's exactly why I loved it, is because of the cleaning part. I've always tried to put into words about how it makes you feel renewed and regenerated, and how everything just seems so fresh, even only after like 3 days of fasting. And now with these studies and everyone really into it, I wanted to be able to help out by maybe giving you some advice, because you might find success in some ways and not in others. And that's what I found. Okay, so now first, getting started on a fast, all right? Talk to a doctor. If you have health problems or if you think there's any reason you can't do it, you should probably talk to a doctor. just mention to them that you're thinking about doing it and what you can expect. If you have a condition that you're worried about when it comes to diabetes, high blood pressure, or even cancer, I would talk to your doctor about it, but then also look up on the internet stories of people who had these problems, went through a fast, and might have found some healing from it. Because the fact is, I think that there are many doctors who don't have in their regimen of you feeling better fasting as one of the solutions. And with that, I would also like to offer a couple things that maybe you can watch online or pick up DVDs at the library that give you good information on fasting. I watched a documentary called The Science of Fasting. It was on Amazon Prime and it was free. I'm not sure if it's available anymore, but if you would like, check that one out. I thought it was very informative. And I'm seeing that there's an even more popular one that I haven't seen yet, and it's simply called Fasting. And this one seems to be backed by, medical science, by doctors, physicians. And in those documentaries, you will see the first one that I would like to talk about, which is water fasting. Water fasting, I think, is done best when it's 24 hours to 3 days. There are people's stories, and you might even see them in the documentaries, of people who've gone like weeks without eating and just only drinking water. But the truth is that if you're looking for great health and results, that autophagy actually kicks in around 18 to 20 hours. So 40 days and 40 nights, if you're trying to match certain records, I guess if you really like to try, I wouldn't do that. For me, I've realized that 3 days is usually the magic number. I believe that this gives enough time for the cellular changes to be made and for the water to cleanse things and to rejuvenate. There are certain things to expect, like around 18 to 24 hours, you might be feeling, headaches coming on, a feeling of, dis-ease. The documentaries show this. There's a lot of information that backs this. This is part of the cleansing process. I'm pretty sure there are many different scientific ways to say it, but to me, I just always refer to it as removing toxins. It's the cleaning out process. And that process results in not feeling too hot. Out of the 20 plus times that I've done my fast, there have only been 2 times where I had migraines. And that happened on the second day. But it's something that you might confront. But like I said, out of the 20 plus times I've done it, twice, not too bad. But let me also tell you is that I cheat. Or I believe I'm cheating because I don't do straight water fasting. I do the master cleanse. Like certain things trend nowadays, like intermittent fasting is a big thing, celery juice is a big thing, all these different things come and go. A while back, master cleanse was kind of a big deal. It was a trend. I remember walking to a health food store right after New Year's and seeing a whole stand that they had with maple syrup, lemons, cayenne pepper, and psyllium husk. And with that, let's get to the recipe. So the Master Cleanse is a drink that includes 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemons, which is about half a lemon. The lemon added to this is said to alkalize the body. It is said to be part of the cleansing process. And for what I know with the strength of the lemon is that it helps break down oxalates, which can lead to the growth of these little crystal-like things in your body that are not good. So to me, organic lemons has always been a great thing and a healthy thing to add to a water fast. I start with that. The next thing that you add to the Master Cleanse is maple syrup. 2 tablespoons of the darkest rich amber that you can get, which is supposed to be the one that has the most nutrients. These nutrients in maple syrup include zinc, potassium, calcium, magnesium. The maple syrup is said to be adding nutrients to your water, so it's another thing that I think is a plus. Last is a dash of cayenne pepper, 1/10 of a teaspoon. This is said to help with the circulation in your body during this time of cleansing. So if you take the whole Master Cleanse name off of it, to me, I'm doing a water fast. But I'm doing a water fast with lemon, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. And holy crap, is it yummy to me. I love this flippin' drink. I drink it when I'm not doing a cleanse. I drink it when I'm a little bit hungry and I don't want food to slow me down. I drink it when I want sweets, but I do not want bad sweets. And most of all, I drink it because I want to cleanse my body, but I don't want to be just drinking water the whole time, and I don't want to have a negative feeling in my body from not being able to eat. It makes me happy. I like being happy. I want to be happy during my fast. And this is where I've been really honest with you, is that fasting sucks. It really does. You don't appreciate food until the moment you have to give it up. When I'm getting to my first day of the fast, even with knowing I'm going to have the Master Cleanse drink, I'm already getting grouchy. Can I just eat veggies for 2 or 3 days and then that be good enough? I don't want to have to do a fast. Or why don't I just do the salt flush that you're supposed to be doing with this Master Cleanse, and I'll just flush my body and that's clean enough. Isn't that clean enough? And then I'm left face to face with the truth, which is I love food. And I eat pretty good food, okay? I eat food that pleases me and food that's good for my body. But I also know the reason why I eat food that's good for my body is because I've done this Master Cleanse. The cleanse has helped me understand that I put toxins into my body. Sometimes I eat junky food. Sometimes I overeat, even when it's good and healthy food. And I also understand during this time is that I'm super blessed. I'm blessed to be a human being on this earth that has plenty of food at his disposal. And coming face to face with these things finally puts me in the zone. And I'm ready to go. Man does not live on bread alone. What I usually do is I start in the morning, and I start with something that they discuss about in the Master Cleanse. There's a book called The Master Cleaner, and it has information and testimonials and all these different things. You can find it online and have it sent to your house. I think it's a really inexpensive buy and something really good to have around so you can remember this if you ever plan on doing more than one fast in your life. And in that book, it'll explain that not only do you have a certain drink that you need to take, but there's also a separate one that you need to take to help flush the toxins out of your body. This drink includes 2 teaspoons of salt put into 32 ounces of water, stirred around until the salt dissolves, and then chugged down all at once. And the results of that drink is Niagara Falls coming out of your back end. I'm not sure if any of you have done a salt flush. If you know, you know. But if it's new to you and you try it, it is quite an experience. The salt water finds its way out of your body lightning fast, flushing with it whatever else it can take. Now with a water fast, this isn't something that you have to do. It's not part of the recipe. I don't like this part of the Master Cleanse, but to me, there's no way I'm doing the Master Cleanse without it. I truly believe and understand that this is the part of the cleaning, is flushing everything out of your body. This saltwater flush is almost like a poor man's colonic. You eventually end up with a very healthy and clean colon. Also, from what I've experienced, there's so much water leaving your body, it seems that that's the appropriate time to recharge and reload with the Master Cleanse drink. And like I said, when you're going through this, that drink has never tasted so much better. With the sweet and the sour and the spicy, it's just, perfect. So that's how it goes. That's how I start my first day. That's how I do the second day. That's how I do the third day. I have done fasts that have gone longer than 3 days. I've done it to a point where it ended up being bad. Hard to explain exactly how I knew it was bad, but I knew at some point instinctively that there was a time I was supposed to be ending the fast. It was around day 4. And I refused it because I started feeling so good without eating, and with doing this, the results were just outstanding. I thought I can do this for weeks. And what I wish I would have known then is that getting off of it is almost like continuing the fast, because you should start with just broths, very light foods, vegetarian. I mean, a simple banana is just great. And with just starting with that, it can be so great. You will see, you will understand the reasons why you do this cleanse to begin with. Your appreciation of food is higher, your sense of smell is higher, therefore your sense of taste is just amazing. One of the best bits of advice I can give you in terms of getting off the cleanse and what you're going to eat is avoid anything that you think might give you gas. That makes getting off the Master Cleanse very unpleasant. And many of these raw veggies and raw things that you might have might exactly lead to that. You'll have the experience of wanting to eat but feeling full because you're filled with gas. Horrible. It's horrible. And it doesn't mean that you have to eat veggies or eat like a rabbit too for the next weeks coming up. You can still go back to, eating meat, but just do it a little more consciously. I really do think this is just such a great experience. It gives you such an appreciation of food, and it also helps you to understand, that when you put something into your body, some of it doesn't leave. And that cleaning once in a while is completely necessary and just such a great thing. Now, part of the reason why I'm talking about the Master Cleanse is because I can't tell you enough about how I felt the effects of autophagy and how I really do believe that this has helped my body. And I'm also saying this because out there, if you look up on the internet, and because it's not really a trend anymore, there's a lot of bad talk about the Master Cleanse. To me, I'm getting the same effects as water fasting, only I'm doing it with a smile on my face because I'm adding ingredients that are helpful to my body and are definitely not hurtful. But there are people out there and naysayers out there against the Master Cleanse who have certain topics that they bring up, and I'd like to go over those right now. One of the main things you'll see online about the Master Cleanse is that it's not a very good way to lose weight. Even the people who wrote the book, The Master Cleaner, I don't think they had incredible weight loss in mind when they wrote it. So when people try to badmouth it for being like not a very good weight loss thing, it's not a weight loss thing. It's a cleanse. There's a difference. Another thing about the Master Cleanse that people say that doesn't really work is the removal of toxins. Now, like I said, after years of studying on this stuff, it's really difficult to understand exactly what toxins are we talking about. Are we talking about chemicals that have been in your body from the outside world? Are these chemicals inorganic, organic? Are we talking about toxins in your bloodstream, toxins in your colon? See, it's very hard to explain exactly what toxins are supposed to be being released. What I experience, I believe, is autophagy. And I do still believe that, yes, during this master cleanse, I am getting toxins out of my body. If it's not the lemons, but it's the saltwater flush or whatever it is, I'm still doing it. And I reap the benefits of it later. So, win-win. Next, when it comes to critiques about the master cleanse, there are people who say that there are certain symptoms that come up, certain results of this cleanse that might lead to headaches or different things, to me, that are very similar to water fasting. The detoxing issues of the water fasting are the same detoxing issues as the master cleanse. So to me, that's just part of the cleansing. It's part of the detox. It's part of the feeling, when you're getting this stuff out of your body, and they're both leading to great results. So that's why I continue. And one of the last critiques about the master cleanse is about the maple syrup. There's a very popular doctor online who's been saying that he used to do it, but that he believes that it's just pumping sugar into your body and it's something that he would never do again. Yes, adding the maple syrup to your drink is adding sugar into your body while you're fasting. But not all sugars are the same. And sometimes I think people forget that, especially people who really push a keto diet, who are completely against sugars in their own ways. Not all sugars are the same. And as I've grown over the years and as I've studied a lot more, one of the main people that I really, really like who has a lot of healthy advice is the medical medium. And when I looked up maple syrup and what the medical medium thinks about it, he explained about how your liver can live off of maple syrup. He is someone that really explains fruit have gotten a bad rap. Everyone's giving sugar like a bad rap. He explains about how most of these people are just trying to cut the sugar out so they can lose weight. And that's why the sugar's gotten a bad rap. But not all sugars are the same. The medical medium explains about how taking care of your liver and that cleansing your body and staying healthy with a goal towards health is that maple syrup is in fact great for it. And that pretty much wraps up most of the main criticisms that I hear about Master Cleanse. And like I said, I bring those up because I want to relay to you that I have been doing it for years, and I really do believe that I am gaining the benefits of water fasting, only doing it with the Master Cleanse drink. So I encourage you, if you're looking into doing water fasting, try the Master Cleanse for 3 days. Okay, now with this, I would like to finish with intermittent fasting and my experience with that. Intermittent fasting right now is huge, and I think most of it came from that Nobel Prize winning study. It is amazing what the body's being able to do through fasting. And when it came to studying about intermittent fasting, I started thinking I think I've been doing this all of my life. I think this is what kept me pretty lean, even when I'm not really trying too hard to be. Everything in American diet's always been really big on you have to have breakfast. You can't get through your day without breakfast. I could never eat breakfast. The moment I eat anything, oatmeal or cereal or anything like that, I feel like I need to sleep in an hour or two. I function a lot better without breakfast. So most days I wouldn't end up eating until afternoon. So this is something I did for years. And from what I noticed too is that it had nothing really to do with how much I was eating or whether I was having a keto diet more or a vegetarian diet. It was more about the times that I was eating and the amount of calories that I was eating. At one of the best times of my life when my body was really healthy and I had tons of energy is when I was intermittent fasting, drinking a lot of water, and then eating Chips Ahoy cookies and bananas. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what I did for some time in my life. But I do believe at that time is that it was the intermittent fasting and the calorie intake that really kept me pretty lean. So I remember that and I think about that when I eat my foods now. But when I started researching intermittent fasting now, it was different. And usually it's tied up with keto. Intermittent fasting, when I look it up, it seems to be all about weight loss and about building muscle, sticking to a strict keto diet, which is just fat and protein. And I think that's what people like about the whole intermittent fasting thing is I get to get skinny and I still get to eat fat. Now I did, keto and intermittent fasting because I just thought, hey, New Year's resolution, why don't I give it a shot? And from my experience, I can tell you that it did not work with me. Doing this type of intermittent fasting with the keto diet gave me something I never experienced before, which was adrenal fatigue. It's like I was in fight or flight or in some kind of certain state in my body that completely wore me out. Maybe I already run high in my adrenals and I'm already moving quite a bit, that overworking them completely blew me out. And then the keto foods that I was eating, the keto diet, did just not work with me. But the topper for me that started making me think that this thing might be kind of like a trend is that when I started trying to get advice from some of these people online who are really, really touting this as the answer to all. Some of the advice they gave was to take more hydrochloric acid with your food to help break down these proteins. Some of the advice they gave was to take ox bile with your food to help break down the fats. So there was something there, something very unnatural about having to take these things to help my body break down stuff that my body did not want to break down. Maybe because it was too much. It just didn't feel natural. It felt like, you know what, this is starting to really seem like a path to take to be able to get skinny. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for very good, effective, healthy things. So with the adrenal fatigue, not being able to digest the foods right, nope, I was out. I'm sharing this story about keto and intermittent fasting with you because I just think that it's something that has to be put out there. One of my siblings tried to get my mom on it, and my mom was like really big on it. She was just praising it on the phone with me, and I just thought, okay. I didn't talk her down from it. I didn't even tell her about my experience. I knew that she was already full speed ahead going into it, and there was nothing I was going to be able to do to change her mind, and I didn't really feel the need to either. I thought, you know what, she can learn for herself, and maybe she'll have a different experience. From what I knew, she was really good at it, and they were really strict on it. This was done during quarantine, and she followed the rules. Like I said, my sibling helped her when it came to preparing foods and doing everything. After a couple months went by, I asked my mother, you know, how's it going? You know, how's this keto thing? And she was honest, and she was like, man, I don't know, maybe this is for young people, but this whole digesting this food, it just wasn't working for me. Like, I can't have food like that. And she explained about how she saw some results, that she felt like she had some weight loss, but that it didn't really work. And then the sad thing was that then my mom, I think, started trying to find things wrong with herself, of the reasons why keto didn't work for her. It was because she was older. And that's where it got really sad, because, you know, I love my mom, and I told her, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. You just need a better diet that probably works for you a lot better. It was only until then that I started explaining to her my situation and what I had gone through, so that she could see, like, you know what, hey, listen, you know, I'm healthy, and I tried it, and it was not working for me. And do we really need to be that skinny and that full of muscles or all these different things? Like, no, I'm not going for that. I was looking for that kind of stuff when I was younger, or when I was too busy looking in the mirror in my life. I got a wife, I got kids, you know, I love looking at them now. And I also have fasts that I've been doing over the years that help me look in the mirror and see, Alex, you overeat sometimes, or you eat a lot of bad junk. So we're gonna have to clean house. And then after you clean house, you might have to think about making some changes. Healthy changes, long-term changes, not a quick fix. So that's my experience with fasting. I hope you like this video. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing. It would be a great help to my channel. I encourage you to look down below, you know, about the information about my book that I wrote, The Legendary Daddy. It talks about how my dream to be a daddy came true, and then I realized it was a nightmare. And just go ahead and check out the book if you get the chance. It's a lot of fun. But I wouldn't be here calling myself Legendary Daddy if it ended up being one of the most beautiful things, if not the most beautiful thing in my life. So if you can, give it a look. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.